So, a quick overview on something that I know people will probably be interested in because it's a pretty big topic, but what are my thoughts on all the picross games I've played so far? Well, the first one, Mario's Picross, I've actually played a good amount of this one already. Where was I at with this one? Let's see. Because I have gotten to... On Easy Picross, I have gotten this far. I still want to beat this one, just because it seems like it'd be interesting to get all these done with, but I've gotten a good amount of them done now. The thing with this one is that, obviously, it's not as in-depth as later ones, and it's kind of the most basic one. It's got like a bit of an Egyptian theme of sorts. I don't know why Yoshi's here. Yoshi doesn't really do much here, but at the very least, this one is alright. It's good. I haven't played a ton of the SNES version on here, but generally, I do think it's good. Ignore all these other ones currently, but I think it's a fine one. It's pretty decent. As for something else here, actually, this is Picross 2. This is actually a sequel to Mario's Picross that doesn't have Mario's name on it. But the interesting thing about this one, which I'll show here for you guys to see. But, let me just go into this. We go into save data here. So this was Japanese only. It wasn't released outside of there. The first one is how to play, but this one is actually interesting as it's got a bit of an extra bit of gameplay to it, where you move around and select the puzzles on these tables here, and seemingly that's kind of all it is to it. And fun thing is, if you want to go back a menu, you just go exit stage right. But if you go down to this one, you'll see that this one is actually like a world map of sorts, like a level-based thing here. And you actually have like a whole bunch of these more in-depth puzzles to go through, like a whole bunch of these. And it seems like there's a whole ton of content to it, given that this is just the first area. And keep in mind, there's multiple of these per puzzle. Like, I did one of these, and I apparently still had to do 4 more in a set in order to get the full picture from it. So, yeah. Picross 2 is a pretty in-depth game. If I ever try to complete this one, it's gonna take me a while. Like, it'll probably be years until I'm at that point. But yeah, that's one I'd definitely be more positive on, just because it's one of the first ones to switch up the formula a good bit. But, interestingly, these ones that I have right here, these ones don't have pictures just because they're a bit more obscure. This is Picross Nintendo Power Volume 1. These were Japanese-only volumes of Picross games, based on Picross on SNES, which used a lot of the same formula as them, but like, the SNES game is more similar to the Game Boy version, while this one here is actually quite interesting. If I go in here, select my data, and go down here, you actually see that this is the first game that introduced the animated pixel art. When you complete these, they aren't just black blobs. Now they're actually colored, and they move around. In fact, later Picross games would only really do this in color Picross, and other ones they'd just be static. So you had like 9 volumes of like a whole ton of these ones that you just get for free in Japan with Nintendo Power. And like, the quality here is actually really good. Not to mention, they also fixed the problem where you could end up taking away squares if you just wanted to cross out ones in a row. So it's actually the most polished game up to this point, without like going into the bigger swaths of modern more on picross mechanics and such. If anything, it's probably the one that I want to kind of go through a bit more, just because there's a lot of content there, and I'd love to say I completed it. Other than that, there was also like Picross DS, and I'll be honest, I don't care much for this one. My big problem with it is mostly just mostly just that not only is it like kind of very basic to a point of kind of just being a bit uninteresting. I mean, it has the animated pixel art, that's cool too, but like the big problem is just that it's very sluggish. Like a lot of other ones are a bit more snappier, and even then, this is years later after the SNES and GB and Game Boy versions. You'd expect they get better at this point, but like I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It feels like there's a delay to it. It's just imprecise and not that fun. This feels too slow. Like I want to go faster. It's hard to say just from like taking a video of it, but like genuinely, it's just not my thing. So yeah, Picross DS, not one that I really want to go through further. But interestingly, this is where we also get first edition of Picross 3D. I'll say this, I think round 2 is just kind of better in a way that does kind of make Picross 3D hard to go back to. But I did enjoy Picross 3D originally, so it's not like I'm really going to like complain about it. And of course you got Picross round 2, where is that? Picross round 2 right here. And this one is one of the best Picross games ever made. It's so fucking good. I love the Picross 3D gameplay style. I wish it returned. And there's also the Picross E-Series, which is also on 3DS, but that one's a bit hard to get a hold of. I need to kind of find a method that I can get them all on here. So currently, you don't have a ton of experience for those ones, but I want to try them out. They're the precursors to the Picross S-Series anyway. But technically, there is Picross Plus, which is, where is it? Picross Plus, which does include a whole ton of the Picross E puzzles, which is pretty cool. It means that they poured a lot of them over. And that's along with Picross S in general, basically being the definitive Picross games for if you just kind of want a general Picross experience. And currently, I've just been playing through Picross 7 again. I already completed this one on Switch before, but I don't know. I think I just really like the music of this one. It's the first one I ever got, and because of that, I have a lot of nostalgia for it. It's just so my favorite in the series. And generally, Picross S in general is based as hell. It's one of the best ones you can get, and for a really good price. That is until you look here, as I didn't put all of these on here. I hid a bunch of them. There's more. There's Doraemon, there's Genesis Master System, there's Namco, there's fucking Rise of the Shield Hero 1, I don't know why. There's Lord of Nazarick, there's Logiar's Grimoire, there's fucking Picross X, there's fucking Juvente Raiden. Basically, yeah, anything Picross, I put it on here, so I may use this for a lot of stuff, but generally, everything else is second place to my Picross obsession. This thing here is basically my Picross machine. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go back to playing Picross.